all shaking. I was driving so fast trying to get here.
Good evening. In accordance with school policy, I do need to announce that we do have one speaker tonight, Miss Janice Danforth, and we're speaking to a non-agenda item, and she will be given 3 minutes to speak. And call the meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor?
Here.
Mr. Cockrell? Mrs. Roulette?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Next item will be the moment of silence by our Board Vice President, Mr. Jerry Denton.
As we begin this meeting, let us pause for a 60-second moment of silence to reflect, meditate, pray, or engage in other silent activity. Thank you.
Next item will be the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Board Clerk, Ms. Brandy Roulette.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Next item will be the discussion of the regular board meeting minutes from May the 9th. Any discussion? Entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Ms. Taylor?
Yes.
Ms. Roulette?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Next item, number 5. Ms. Thornton? Got some special guests here this evening? Awesome.
Hello again. I am Coach Gould. For those of you that don't know me, I'm the head coach for the district Special Olympics team. We serve everyone from pre-K through 12th grade, and we actually just this year started an alumni team, so we take them all. We wanted to come today and thank the board and the district and the community for your support this year. Coming back from COVID has been tough, getting our kids back, but they have come back in droves. And we had some new exciting programs that we added this year that I want to talk about. So first, I'd like to just tell you what we did this last year, what we participated in. So we had our unified volleyball, which is the only OSSA sanctioned sport that we are in. So it was a full season. It was awesome. The kids did awesome. They played amazing. We didn't make it to the championships, but that's okay. We'll do it another time. We played unified soccer. We did cheerleading and a pom squad. Our young athletes is for pre-K through 8 years old. So we had that also. We did art, music, and dance. We had several compete in golf this year. We added powerlifting, unified bocce ball, track and field. And this year our new sports were unified cornhole, which was so much fun. They loved it. It was nice and easy. It was cold the day that we competed, but it was fun. And then we added a unified esports team.
Cool.
This team I'm gonna brag on. They came in begging me for the team. They heard that Special Olympics Oklahoma had added it, and I said, okay, if I can find somebody to help me coach it, we'll do it. I know how to turn the machine on. That's it. So we actually had Coach Dylan Gage, if you'll come up front. Coach Dylan Gage is one of our he's one of our varsity coaches for the high school also. But he took on our team and completely coached them this whole time. If you were on that esports team, will you stand up and walk up front? So Ethan McGuire, Keegan Gellner, Isaiah Cullum, and Matthew Becker. This team competed against teams across the nation, and they're getting their medals today because we just got them in.
All right.
They competed in teams across the nation this season. We had, how many games do you think we played?
Probably about 20.
At least 20. First ever year in the sport, first ever year in the program. We had 2 teams make it to the championship round.
All right.
We won the Eastern National Championship. So, we've got the trophy that was just delivered today. If you guys don't mind, I would
We
love
wanna-
to get a picture with you
Yeah,
guys
we'll
with this
do
team
it.
specifically, and then I'll call up everybody else.
Come over here, guys.
Okay,
Right,
right
here in
up
the
front. Right up front. Yes. Uh-oh. All I did was show up for practice.
All right, here we go on 3. 1, 2, 3. Again on 3. 1, 2, 3. Good job.
Guys, don't go too far. You'll have to come back up here in just a second. So we, obviously, because of COVID, we haven't competed in summer state games in 3 years. So this was our first year going back. We ended up taking 65 athletes,
Wow.
32 peer partners, which we could not do this program without our peer partners. And I took 18 coaches. So if you were a part of that state team as a coach, a peer, or an athlete, can you start making your way towards the front? They brought home, let me get my numbers right, they brought home 23 bronze medals, 14 silver, and 34 gold. And they love pictures also.
Let's do one. Come on up. Let's go.
Here we go on 3. 1, 2, 3. Again. 1, 2, 3. Good job.
Thank you guys so much for your continued support.
Coach, thank you. I want to thank all of the parents and peers, helpers as well. That's got a special place in my heart. I know it does every other board member here, and it's always exciting to see you all come to our meeting. And we're here to support and do what we can to help you all grow that to the very best of your ability. And whatever you need, tell Mr. Perry. He says you've got it. Yeah, thank you. Next item, is it Ms. Turner?
So that's a hard act to follow.
Oh, boy, that ain't no lie.
Mr. Perry, President Allen School Board, I am here to discuss and put forth a motion to approve the donation of $10,000 from the Disciples Christian Church to the Broken Arrow Options Academy.
Wow.
Any questions or discussion?
Make a motion to approve?
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mrs. Roulette?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Are they here?
They are not. They were unable to make it tonight.
Darn it.
But
I'll tell you what.
sadly, they were unable to make it because they have done something amazing
That's
for our
remarkable.
school.
I mean, that's absolutely incredible. And just to have a partner and somebody like that stepping up in the community and helping
It
the school. I
is.
mean, that's just absolutely incredible.
I might have shed a few tears.
I totally get that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We didn't
Ms. Janet,
get
we didn't
voting,
get no
but
voting buttons.
Okay.
we're good.
I'll fix it.
Okay. Next item, Ms. Enoff.
Good evening, President Allen, Mr. Perry, members of the board. It is my honor tonight to ask the board to approve the offer of employment to an individual to serve as our Director of Accounting/Budget. And I would like to make the recommendation to the board to accept Ms. Stacy Chase. Ms. Chase has been with Broken Arrow Public Schools for the past 10 years, serving in a variety of roles in our finance department. Most recently, as our financial accounting coordinator, she served as a variety of roles in our accounts payable department, also working with our federal claims. And we are very proud and happy to offer this role to Ms. Chase.
Okay. Questions or discussion?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mrs. Roulette?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Are they here?
Ms. Chase is here.
Yeah. All right. Special guest?
Yes, I do. My husband of 20 years, Kurt.
All right.
My oldest at the end is our son, Alex. He is a BA grad and a Broken Arrow Pride alumni.
All
And
right.
then my daughter will be a senior at the high school this next year. Her name is Emily, and she is also part of Pride.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Welcome.
Congratulations. What is it?
Thank you.
Next item, Ms. Enoff.
My next item is to ask the board to approve an offer of employment to an individual to serve as our Director of Financial Reporting and Software Solutions. And I would like to make the recommendation to hire Ms. Megan Frederick. Ms. Frederick, I really feel like she's already a part of the BA family because she has had a close connection with the district during her time as serving as our support account coordinator through our financial software of Wingage. She has worked with several of our finance and HR staff over the years and been a great source of support in that role. Most recently, she has served as the role of business manager for Mustang Public Schools, and we are very excited to welcome Ms. Frederick into the BA family.
Questions or discussion?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mrs. Roulette?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
And Mr. Allen?
Yes. Is Ms. Frederick here?
She is.
Any special guests, Ms. Frederick?
Yes, this whole table here.
All right. Let's meet them.
Okay, so we'll start down here. I've got my Gwyneth, and then Allison, Scarlett, Warren, my husband Rob, who's also a teacher. He's going to be teaching at Broken Arrow. So.
Yay.
And then my littlest Jessie, she's 6 months old. So
Wow.
I'm so excited to be here. So thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I have a meeting with your former employer tomorrow. I hope they don't kick me out of the room. All right. Next item, number 9, Ms. James.
Good evening, President Allen, Mr. Perry, and the board. I'm here this evening to place before you a motion to offer employment to Joshua Platt as an assistant principal at Oliver Middle School. Josh actually worked with us. He was a teacher in our district for 6 years. He was aspiring administrator at that time, looking to move into the position. And unfortunately, he had some family issues, some ailing parents. He had to move to Texas for about 3 years. During that time, he began to continue to build his skill set and his experience. And he was what Texas would call a collaborative learning leader, which is an administrator who focuses a lot on instruction. As well. And so we interviewed him. He just wowed us with all of his skills, what he's bringing to the table. We think he'll be a great asset at Oliver. And we're just excited. When we were visiting with him, he said, we were ready to move back to Oklahoma. It was time for us to do that. And he was the only place we're going to move back to is home, which for us is Broken Arrow. Yes. So we're excited. So I would like to place that before you for your vote.
Question or discussion?
Make a motion to approve?
A second.
All right. Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Ms. Taylor?
Yes.
Mrs. Roulette?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Mr. Platt here?
He is not. He is in the process of moving and
Okay.
wrapping things up, so he was unable to be here
Sure.
this evening. He sent his apologies, but he's excited. He said
Totally
to get
understand.
started.
Well, welcome home, Mr. Platt.
I'll share that with you.
Next item, Ms. James.
Okay. At this time, I would like to place before you to consider the employment as assistant principal at the high school to Gentry Gwen. Like Joshua, she too taught with us. She was a teacher for us at the elementary level for 6 years. Then she moved to Porter District and she became everybody. That poor place is made fall off. I don't know what they're going to do after we steal her. But her experience as a junior high and high school principal, district counselor, curriculum director, test coordinator, professional development leader, the skill set that she's acquired and bringing to the table and at the high school is going to be invaluable to us. We are really, really excited. She just fits in with us. Like I said, she taught with us, and we're just so excited to welcome her and offer her this opportunity for employment and to come back home.
Question or discussion?
Make a motion to approve?
A second.
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mrs. Roulette?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Is she here this
She
evening?
is. Miss Gentry.
There we go.
The rest of my family. This is my middle daughter Neil, she's 15 and will be a senior. My youngest daughter Carly, she is 14 and she's 10th grader, and my husband and I was 22 years.
Welcome.
Welcome back. Thank you, Ms. James. Next item is comments from the public. We do have one speaker, Ms. Danforth. Okay. Yes, come on up. You can come to the podium here. Mr. Denton will keep the time for you, and it's 3 minutes, being a non-agenda item. And instead of interrupting you, he'll just say time when the 3 minutes is up. Okay.
You tell me when to start as well, or no?
Whenever you're ready, we'll start the clock.
Okay. So, my name is Janice Danforth, and I'm the chapter chair of the Tulsa County Moms for Liberty here in Tulsa. Our goal is to have accountability and transparency between the school districts of Tulsa County and their parents. With that said, I'd like to address the concern of social emotional learning, specifically to this board, Panorama. Recently, I watched you approve, it was around $48,000 for a Panorama survey for 1 year to administer 3 surveys to your students and staff. I was disappointed to see one side regarding the benefits of this program from your cell director, but nobody showing the downfalls of participating in this organization. As an entity that is publicly funded, it would be encouraging as a parent to see both sides being presented to you, the board, especially when it is involving so much money for something that I personally find zero merit in. Panorama is a nonprofit that makes a lot of profit. They were founded in 2012 by AJ, the Attorney General Garland's son-in-law, but it really took off in 2017, which was conveniently 3 years after Obama's policy limiting disciplinary action taken in schools. Creating Every Student Succeeds Act, which brought, as you all know, brought lots of opportunity for funding for these types of programs via Titles 1, 2, 4, 6, and 8. With ESSA, CEL is encouraged and or required for that federal funding. This opened the door for programs like Panorama to excel financially at the expense of our students. They've raised plenty of money privately from the likes of Zuckerberg and Gates Foundation, which conveniently also are the main source of income for CASEL, which is the main organization that does most SEL programs. As parents of Moms for Liberty, we do not want our children surveyed. We do not want the focus of education to be on things that take away from education. We desire to get back to the basics, teaching kids instead of focusing on their social emotional learning, which just puts all kids in a groupthink way of thinking. Social emotional learning undermines parental rights via means as collecting personal data through Panorama surveys as one example. It's designed to become the parenting voice to encompass the whole child, which we feel as parents is not the job of the school. Third, it impersonates mental health services, shaping a child for collective thought, which takes away its individual person. Number 4, allows teachers to psychologically evaluate students, something they are not qualified to do. And that's nothing against the teachers, that's just the reality of it. It removes and or it downplays what beliefs exist at the home by implementing what it feels is important in its group thought. It forces students to pick the right answer, even though it may go against their home values and or beliefs, sometimes choosing the answer that is right for the good grade, even if it goes against what their beliefs are at home. It's funded by globalists, like I said, Zuckerberg and Gates. They do not want individuality, and social emotional learning removes that actual individuality. The whole school, whole child, whole community is another example. Is it? Okay. Which has made its way, unfortunately, into Oklahoma. Panorama views SEL as a social justice, which they've said their CEO has verbalized. So I just want to suggest looking at other sides and not just hearing the one, because I feel like that's what's happening in the schools, and we want to be able to showcase both sides, the good and bad of something, especially when money's involved in our students. Thank you.
Next item will be the general consent items 13 through 78. Any discussion or?
Make a motion to approve?
I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor? Mrs. Roulette?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
No, but
Next item 79, Mr. Stecker.
Good evening, everyone. I'm asking you tonight to approve the second reading of the board policy. Hopefully you had a chance to review that. Legal's also reviewed it as well.
Any discussion? I'd entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve?
I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mrs. Roulette?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Stecker. That is not Mr. Moore.
It is not. Hope you're not disappointed, but good evening.
Good evening, Ms. Jackson.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Perry, President Allen, members of the board. I submit for your approval this evening the purchase of 4 special needs buses, 5 regular route buses from bids received by Holt Truck Center, the lowest responsible bidder. All bidding was conducted pursuant to the Competitive Bidding Act as required by law. The total cost of the district is $998,320 and will be paid for from bond funds from 2015.
Thank you. Any questions or discussion? This is our annual
Yes, sir.
bus purchase,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Okay, thank you.
I make a motion to approve?
I'll second that.
Motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mrs. Roulette?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. One question. How many buses do we have in the district?
Just under 190. That includes activity, regular route buses, all that.
Wow, that's amazing.
A lot.
Yes.
190.
Yes, ma'am.
Whew, that's a lot.
Yeah, we got a
What
lot of
gas?
buses. We have, I believe, just under 15, 13, somewhere around there.
Wow.
Good questions.
Now, I know we've been kind of robbing Peter to pay Paul on some of our buses. We've been kind of taking parts. are we getting parts to fix those other ones, or how are we working with those?
Yes, another good question. What we've experienced is similar to what a lot of private and public entities have experienced with regards to the supply chain. And parts availability has been a challenge this year for us. And so the vehicles that we've had in surplus for some time have been sitting at the transportation terminal, and we've been getting those parts to fulfill the needs of repairs. We have been ordering while we've been, kind of robbing the buses, and so those parts are coming in every year. There's a requirement for accreditation to do inspections, and some of those parts were ordered, I believe, in September because of the issues that we're having, so that we can work through the summer.
Well,
Very.
since we're asking transportation questions,
Yeah.
what was our cost of fuel a year ago for the district?
That I don't know, but I can get you an answer.
Does
Do
Natalie
you know
probably know
exactly
that?
what it is? Last year's a challenge because we didn't run the normal amount of miles. I probably can get you it for 2018 or 19, and I'm sure you could too. But the last 2 years have been a little dicey because, our activities didn't run normally. Our routes were a little sketchy because we were in and out, and so it's not our consistent amount that we spend in a year. But Natalie, would you be able to answer that?
I wouldn't want to estimate that. We can run that report pretty easily in the morning and
Yeah.
send you those figures between how we code out diesel versus regular gas.
I think we probably need to start having that discussion as a board. Just speaking with another district, their fuel bill was double what it was the previous month. And if that's going to continue, I would think that we may have to make some tough decisions as a board as far as what we do with routes, the funding. I mean, you just can't continue to add on that expense that wasn't planned for, I guess, so to speak.
I can tell you, over the last 2 months, it has nearly doubled, increasing over 30%. We were paying an average a month for fuel about 20 to 25,000, and that's gone up significantly, upwards of 35 to 40,000. We do have the benefit of purchasing the larger fuel tanks with bond monies within the last few years, and that's allowed us to kind of hedge our cost a little bit to where we can go a little bit longer and week to week get quotes, trying to get the best cost for fuel. And so that's been very beneficial, but we are having a lot of conversations that we'll be sharing with you within the coming month about what plans are to stabilize operational cost over the next couple of years.
Yeah, I just speaking to some other people at other districts, and they were talking, just this unexpected cost to the district and how to address it. Of, do you go 2 miles to eliminate bus routes, or not saying that's what we're doing, obviously, but I mean, there's going to have some sort of discussion how to overcome those things. I mean, you've probably seen it in food costs too, and all the list is probably way long. So I mean, we're going to have some interesting conversations coming up next
Agreed.
year and moving into next year.
Agree.
So,
Any other questions? You're very welcome.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, next item, new business. We have none. Item 82, a motion to move in executive session.
Make a motion to move into executive session.
I'll second that motion.
Motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor? Mrs. Roulette?
Yes.
Mr. Denton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Ashley's going to go first before we do Mr. Perry's comments. Would you like to read the minutes, Ms. Roulette?
Sure will. Thank you. The Board of Education, Chuck Perry and Mr. Ashley Bowser met in executive session at 6:33 p.m. to consider the appeal of the denied student A transfer with a review of confidential education records and transfer requests of student A, whereby disclosure of any information could potentially violate FERPA 25 OS Section 307B7. We also went in there to consider appeal of the denied student B transfer with the review of confidential educational records and transfer request of student B, whereby disclosure of any additional information could potentially violate FERPA 25 OS Section 307B7. And we also to discuss the evaluation of Chuck Perry, superintendent, pursuant to 25 OS Section 307B1 of the Open Meeting Act.
Okay, next item will be 86, discussion, or we'll actually need to take a vote to approve or deny. Entertain a motion.
Oh,
On number 86.
86.
86, yeah. I'm making,
On student A.
on student A, okay. Let me make certain. I'm making the motion on student A that we deny the transfer request.
Got a motion and a second, please call the roll.
Mrs. Taylor?
Yes.
Mrs. Roulette?
Yes.
Mr. Ditton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes, next item 87.
I make a motion that we deny the request on student B.
I second that.
Motion and a second, please call the roll.
Ms. Taylor?
Yes.
Ms. Roulette?
Yes.
Mr. Ditton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes. Next item will be to adjourn.
Hold on, I didn't get the
Oh, I
voting
didn't get a
button on
vote
that.
either.
Oh,
I think she.
Oh, there we went.
she wanted to-
All right. You'll have to get a verbal on that last one.
I'll do it. I'll
Alright.
add it.
Make a motion that we adjourn?
Motion and a second, please call the roll.
Ms. Taylor?
Yes.
Mrs. Roulette?
Yes.
Mr. Ditton?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.